Question 1. Please tell us about yourself. What are your interests and hobbies? My name is Mr. Anthony Donko, a teacher from Ghana, and I have a bachelor's degree in middle school and elementary education with specialization in mathematics and English language. Now, I obtained my bachelor's degree from the University of Education, Winneba, Ghana, in the year 2012. After my diploma education from the University of Cape Coast, and I completed in 2008. So I have actually been a teacher since 2008, and my hobbies are playing table tennis, playing volleyball, watching adventure movies, and reading novels. Now, it has always been my interest to help students and to let them know the potential they have and how to reach their full potential. Question 2. What motivated you to become a teacher for the subject for which you are applying? Now, I got the motivation and inspiration to become a mathematics teacher through my grade 8 mathematics teacher in the person of Mr. Abdul Karim Tanko. I was actually struggling in learning mathematics from grade 1 up to grade 7. But with the coming in of Mr. Abdul Karim Tanko, I fell in love with the teaching and learning of maths through his methodologies and teaching styles that he used. Now, I further developed great interest in the subject. So I quickly turned the fortune and I became the best mathematics teacher in grade 8. So as time goes on, he made me to assist my colleagues who were struggling and could not understand the concept. So I started peer teaching among my colleagues, and the feedback they gave to me was that anytime I did peer teaching, they understood better and learned the concept with ease. So from there, I knew that this was my calling, and I developed the passion and interest of helping others. So since then, I have been trained to be a teacher, and I must say I am motivated and highly impressed, and I've never been disappointed being a teacher. So that was how I developed the interest of becoming a teacher and specifically becoming a mathematics teacher. It was through the inspiration and motivation of my grade 8 mathematics teacher. Question 3. Tell us about your involvement in extra curriculum activities that you could coach or supervise. In all my teaching experience from the various schools, I have been the volleyball coach and also the cultural coordinator. I was the volleyball coach in my first school, which was Chirboso DA Basic School, and Atasokwa DA Junior High School, which was my second school. I was also the volleyball coach and the cultural coordinator. Currently, I'm the volleyball coach and the cultural coordinator of my current school, which is Abuabo Number 2 Methodist Basic School. So I will be able to supervise the volleyball coaching and cultural activities in the school. Question 4. What subjects have you taught and at what grades? Now, since 2008, when I became a teacher, I have been teaching middle school mathematics at grade 6, grade 7, and grade 8 with an average class of 45 and the age range of students between 10 and 14. In my first school, I taught for 5 years from 2008 to 2013. My second school, I was also teaching mathematics from 2014 to 2017. And currently, I'm also teaching mathematics at grade 6, 7, 8 from 2018 to date. And the age level, like I said, is between 10 and 14, and an average class of 45. Question 5. How do you prepare to teach your lesson, and what do your lesson plan include? Now, I prepared to teach my lessons by firstly consulting my standard, that is the curriculum, to know specific areas to teach. I also consult my textbooks to be able to know the content to teach. And I also plan my lesson in a detailed way to be able to follow so as to teach. Now, in preparing my lesson, I consider materials available, teaching learning resources or materials available, the different abilities among pupils, and also the teaching style that I'm going to use. So with the lesson, I consider the to do now activities, or which are activities which is done to reflect the previous knowledge students have in coming to teach the new concept. Then also after that, I also consider the introduction, where I I make it very snappy and very interesting so that it will catch the attention of students and they'll be ready for the lesson. Then from there we come to the main activity. Under the main activity, we have the direct instruction, where students are introduced to the concept and the topic to be learned. That is the direct instruction stage. Then from there, we have the guided practice, where students are given tasks to perform, and I offer guidance to them where necessary and guide them to be able to work out the questions or examples given to them. Then from there, we have the independent practice, where students are made to work on their own to find solutions to problems and work other problems together. Then we have the closure, where we recap whatever we've taught for the day and we share ideas. Then we summarize the whole concept. Then from there, we give them exit ticket, where we move on to another aspect of learning. So that is how or things are normally considered in my lesson. Now, talk about two teaching, question 6. Talk about two teaching strategies or methods that you effectively use in your classroom. Now, the two methods I effectively use in my classroom teaching are the differentiated instruction and the cooperative learning. Now, with the differentiated learning, it's is very effective because with this one, it caters all the learning abilities of students in the class, such that in a class we are going to find the low learners, the high learners, we have the average and the above average. So the instruction are differentiated so that it will cater for all these groups within the class. Then also I'm also or I always use the cooperative learning, such that students are put into groups of 4 or 5 and made to perform work. Now with this one, it brings about unity and cordiality among the students. It helps to develop their social life since they will be interacting with their colleagues. And it also brings about the best in them since they share ideas among themselves, and they are going to learn to be able to become a team member to contribute their part to the success of the group. So the two most effective methods I normally use in my classroom are the differentiated learning and the cooperative learning. Question 7. When someone enters your classroom, describe the learning activities in which the students are engaging. Now, when you enter my classroom, you will always find that students are performing a hands-on activities. Now with this one, students are made to work sometimes individually or in a group. So for this one, you come to meet students in a class using the balance to be able to find unknown variables in an equation. Now, students are going to explore, they are going to investigate to identify or come out with the idea that for a balance to reach an equilibrium, the unknown variable to be found should be found, so that when put together, the load or on the left hand side of the balance and the load on the right hand side of the balance are going to help the balance to reach an equilibrium. So the unknown variable, when put to either the left or left, or either the left or right, is going to help the balance to reach an equilibrium. So students are going to be working, they are going to be exploring, they are going to investigate, they are going to elaborate among themselves, they try to find out this thing. So when you come to my class, you see that students will be engaged on a hands-on activities. Question number 8. What methods do you use to evaluate your student progress? Now, I normally use tests, I use quizzes, I use assignment, I also use exams, or sometimes I even observe them, whether indoor or outdoor, to know their progress in other aspects of their learning. So I use quizzes, tests, assignments, homework, and other stuff to assess to know the progress students are making with regards to their learning. Now, question number 9. If you use technology in your teaching, describe how you incorporate it into your teaching. That describe any experiences you have with a smart board. Now, normally I use the laptop and the projector in my lesson. Now, with the laptop, I have my questions there. Students, the, the work to be done are projected on the board for students to be able to work with. Then we interact among themselves through the the laptop. Sometimes work are given to students through mail, then they work it and present it through mail, then we work. Now along the line, sometimes we also project graphs, we also project data statistics, so that you'll be able to communicate well and understand the concept that they are learning better. Now with the use of smart board in my previous school, which is Adansia Sokwa Junior High School, they were having it there. So we use it in drawing graphs, we use it to do assessment. Sometimes we collect data together, then we use it. So with the use of smartboard, I have it. But currently my current school, which is Abuabo number 2 Methodist, they do not have it. But I have experience working with that at Sokwa Junior High School. Yeah. Question 10. If you have students who are noisy or non-attentive, share ways you can regain their attention without interrupting the lesson. Now, in my class, whenever I have these distractive students, what or non-cooperative students or non-attentive, normally what I do is that I clap my hands for few minutes. Now, in the course of the clap, they all try to be calm to know what is going to follow next. So from there, then I come in with an icebreaker, which is going to help the whole class to release stress and boredom. Then from there, the lesson will go on. Sometimes I used to create few jokes, so some few hacks here and there, so that everybody will be ready. Then we move on with the lesson. So that's how I'm able to handle such situation. Now, question 11. Describe the most difficult problem you've had to deal with as a teacher and how did you resolve it? Now, the most difficult problem I've had to deal with was a teacher who tried to give examination questions to people before the stipulated time. So when I got to the school, there was this rumor about that. So I investigated among the students and they came out with the name that a colleague teacher gave out the question. So I approached the teacher, asked him why he did that, and I made him aware that that is unprofessional. He should desist from that act. Then I tried to talk to him how he shouldn't have done that. Then he was trying to justify and try to, he doesn't see any problem with that. So I had to bring in the head of department to also talk to him. Then from there, we resolved the issue. Then the head of department made authorities aware, since they had to go through some sanction to be able to, so that such behavior does not repeat itself. So that was how we were able to do that. Question 12. Give an example to show that you are a flexible person and that you can make changes your teaching and methods. Now, currently, my school that I have, it is within the rural area. We have a large class size, and they do not have technological materials. So what I do is I normally do improvisation, try to find local materials available to be able to use. And sometimes I have to even alter the seating arrangement so that you'll be able to accommodate every learner for them to participate. Even though I normally go with the differentiated and cooperative learning. But since they have a large class size, sometimes I have to do group presentation, I have to make changes within the class, and even find local materials to be able to teach the concept, even though they don't have technology. But I make use of the available materials there. So I'm a flexible teacher. I'm able to adapt to new situations and work in new environment to bring the best out of the situation. Thanks.